We do have permission to be here.
The arcade lighting was so much fun to shoot in. The first game I found had like a crystal ball type light, so I had Kera get over that and it lit up her face. I had her peer in and it also changed colors, so those colors bounced off her face. I then found another game that I really wanted Kera to play with and kind of interact with a little bit more. That I wanted to look a little bit more retro because it was a game that has been around for a while. I even went around and tried to get it from a few different angles because the lighting was just so much fun and I wanted it to be very interactive, that photo, not so much just playing with the lighting. The next game we found was like a Wheel of Fortune type game. It really looked more like a marquee lighting style, and I had Kera lean her head against it so that way that would light up her face a little bit differently than the other games did. Throughout this shoot, I was using my 50mm lens as well as my 60 to 35mm lens. I really did want to show off her outfit. It was a metallic jacket from Forever 21, so I did want this to have some fashion shoot to it. So we did make sure that we got that throughout the frame. The claw game was really the only machine in there that had a lot of white light to it, so I did have her lean her head against that glass to really have a darker background and light her up very well as shining off that metallic jacket and her little shiny earrings. So I did want to try a little bit of a sexier pose. I wasn't sure which arcade game would really reflect off that jacket well because I did want this to be a little bit more of a fashion shoot, something that you'd like see in a magazine. I used my 50mm lens for these shots and we switched up the machines and really just tried to play around with it so that way we could see how that shot looked the best with each arcade game that we tried. After I got those wider shots I wanted, I did move closer in, and I actually did have to move closer because I was using a prime lens. And I think that that really reflected off the jacket more and did a little bit more for showing off that piece of clothing. I even brought out my prism, and that was really fun because it reflected the lights off and gave a really pretty portrait. I also took it away in a few shots so that way I could get a shot of just her face with the red light that was coming out of that game. The last photo we did remind me of a crystal ball again, so I had Kera lean onto the machine again, and I didn't really like her hair down, so I had her pull it back. I also wanted it to feel a little bit more magical, so I had her kind of looking into the quote-unquote crystal ball. Decided I didn't like it, so I had her head peeking into it, but her face still looking at me.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Barrett for letting us use your